Hey guys, welcome back to the Geek Plan. I am Jeff, and today we're going to talk about a story that was just released about an hour or so ago, and Deadline is the source of the story. They're the ones who broke it, so we're going to get into this now. It looks like Disney-Sony standoff ends Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige's involvement in Spider-Man. So it looks like there will be no more Marvel Studios Spider-Man films. They will all be under the Sony Pictures brand now in Sony's universe. So Marvel will not have Spider-Man in their films anymore. They will not have him in Avengers or any other future MCU releases. So let's take a look at the article and see what's going on here. Okay, this is exclusively reported here by Deadline. It says, exclusive, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige won't produce any further Spider-Man films because of an inability by Disney and Sony Pictures to reach new terms that would have given the former a co-financing stake going forward. A dispute that has taken place over the past few months at the top of Disney and Sony and has essentially nixed Feige and the future involvement of Marvel from Spider-Man universe, sources said. This comes at a moment when the last two films Kevin Feige produced broke all-time records. Disney's Avengers Endgame became the highest-grossing film of all time, and Spider-Man Far From Home this week surpassed the James Bond film Skyfall, becoming the all-time highest-grossing film for Sony Pictures. The article continues to say that sources said there are two more Spider-Man films in the work that are meant to have director John Watts and Tom Holland front and center. Unless something dramatic happens, Feige won't be the lead creative producer of those pictures. There is a lot of webbing here, they say, but it all comes down to money. Of course, we knew that, and it's easy to understand why both sides refuse to give ground. Disney had asked that future Spider-Man films be a 50-50 co-financing arrangement between the studios, and there were discussions that this might extend to other films in the Spider-Man universe. Sony did not like that, so they turned the offer down flat, and I don't believe they even came back to the table with a compromise, they say. Led by Tom Rothman and Tony Vinciquerra, I think I got that right, Sony just simply didn't want to share its biggest franchise. Sony proposed keeping the arrangement going under the current terms, where Marvel receives in the range of 5% of first dollar gross. Sources said Disney refused. Okay, so it sounds like Disney wanted a bigger stake in this, and we already know Disney's getting a little bit too big for their britches. It wouldn't surprise me that in the next 5 to 10 years, Disney tries to buy Sony Pictures outright, a deal that I don't think will ever happen because Sony's now negative taste with Disney and Marvel Studios. The article continues and says a lot more stuff here, but a lot of it is just kissing Kevin Feige's ass and talking about how amazing Marvel is and how amazing Disney is and how amazing they are. And basically, I'm going to give you a quote here that I thought was just a big spit in the face to Sony, for they have done some great things with Spider-Man in the past, so why spit in their face? Here's the quote. Essentially, Sony has made a decision as similar to saying, thank you, but we think we can win the championship without Michael Jordan. Cool. I know Kevin Feige has produced these films. They compare him to George Lucas and James Cameron and Peter Jackson. Kevin Feige has not directed one film in this franchise, not one. He's not a director, he's a producer. He handles the stories behind the scenes, and I'm sure not all of it is his. I'm sure he has a plan and a slate where he wants to go, but everybody else gets to fill in the blanks, and they have to include this and this and this. They won't give directors the spotlight. It has to be this formula. It has to be a Marvel formula, and it's getting really old. Spider-Man Far From Home was like one of the nails in the coffin for me. Captain Marvel was one of them. I loved Avengers Infinity War. I still think, besides Winter Soldier, it is the best MCU movie, and Endgame is right behind it, tied, I think, with Iron Man 1. I've basically given the MCU Spider-Man the new nickname of Spider Guy because he's not Spider-Man or Iron Spider Kid, something like that. Because at the end of Far From Home, spoilers if you haven't seen it, so I'm warning you right now, I'm going to spoil the ending of Far From Home. Basically, he gets the access to Tony's tech that made the Iron Man suits. So he basically builds a Spider-Man suit from Iron Man tech in a plane owned by Tony Stark while listening to AC/DC. Marvel cannot give up Iron Man. They were going to turn him into Iron Man. That's not Spider-Man. We had two movies. He was in New York for half of the first movie and maybe 5% in the second movie. Spider-Man is a New York superhero. He does not go outside of New York. He is not an international hero unless he is with the Avengers. So what they had done with him, I absolutely despised it. I don't like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, so maybe with John Watts and Sony's direction and what they're going to do, maybe they can kind of take it in a different direction without Iron Man hanging over his head a whole time in these movies, because that's what it has been. Let's just go forward and start anew in the Sony universe. Let's make him more of a heroic character and a more stand on his own 2 feet kind of character, a character who could stand up against Venom or work with Venom against Carnage if they decide to go that route, because he is now officially with Sony only, so they can take him wherever they want. They can now put him in these other movies they're developing. There's a Venom sequel underway with director Andy Serkis, we just found out last week, a Morbius film with Jared Leto, which I'm looking forward to, Kraven the Hunter, and another spin-off with the characters Silver Sable and Black Cat. They need to have Spider-Man to tie these together. These characters work really well, but they work better when they're tied together with Spider-Man because they're all connected by Spider-Man and Peter Parker. If they want to change Spider-Man down the road from Peter Parker to Miles Morales, that would be awesome if they could do that as well. They have so much they can do going forward with this franchise, and I'm looking forward to what Sony does. I also will say that Marvel now is going to have to struggle to fill in the shoes of Spider-Man. Doctor Strange is the next one down the list that they could probably use a big name like that because of the backlash against Captain Marvel, which was the original Avenger that they were going to have lead the Avengers going forward, and they kind of backed off of that and started to push Spider-Man more as the lead of the Avengers. You could tell in Far From Home that was going to be their goal. He was going to be the leader of the Avengers. So going forward with Avengers films, this is going to be an interesting time for Marvel's Cinematic Universe. I hope both studios have success. I really do. I know there can be a lot of people out there hating on this because of Marvel and all the MCU fans who are just going to hate on this and hate on this all day long. But let's give Sony a chance to see what they can do with Watts and Holland and Amy Pascal in the producer seat and see what they can come up with creatively to mesh going forward with the universe that they're creating with these films and these characters that they have at their disposal. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Jeff for the Geek Planet. As always, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. We do appreciate that. Leave a like on the video as well. If you're already a subscriber or you're just now subscribing, please hit the bell for notifications so you can be updated when we get some new videos out for you guys. And also be looking forward to our new 90s podcast coming next week or the week after. It's going to be called Be Kind 90s Rewind. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye on the channel in the next few days. We got some more news videos and some more videos coming out. So we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.